Hi everyone, you're very welcome to this webinar about getting ready for college. Firstly, I'd like to extend a big congratulations to everyone who has been accepted onto a further or higher education course, given the immense obstacles you faced in education over the last couple of years. Transitioning to college, whether you're going straight from school after some time out or after a period of work, the transition can be daunting. We hope during the session that we can give you enough information to ease those nerves slightly. So Quiva and I work on the adult dyslexia team within DAI, and in another life, we work together in a third level college supporting students with disabilities. We hope today we can give you some tips on what we have encountered along the way and detail how you can get the most from your disability service. We will be discussing generally supports and accommodations available, but please remember each further education college, each university, each institute have different arrangements in place, so please follow the guidance for the college that you are attending. Firstly, we're going to discuss registering with a disability service, disability department, access office, or indeed student support department. So again, whichever is most relevant to the college that you are going to. If you have an identification of dyslexia, you are entitled to register with the Disability Office for reasonable accommodations and supports. And these are supports that you may need to help you succeed during your studies. And when we say register, we just mean make yourself known to the office, that you've provided the documentation required and that you have completed a needs assessment and agreed upon reasonable accommodations. Reasonable accommodations are adjustments that the academic team and the support services provide to make your learning journey more successful. There are many examples of reasonable accommodations, including but not limited to extra time in exams, a smaller exam centre, provision of a reader, whether that's a person or technology, a scribe in exams, again, person or technology, learning materials provided in advance, assistive technology, or specific seats in a lecture hall or classroom. So what happens next? You've been in contact with a disability office and they have either sent on a document link to be filled in or given you an appointment with a disability officer by Zoom or in person. The form is a needs assessment form and will detail the nature of your identification or diagnosis, how it impacts you, supports you had previously, and supports you may wish to have moving forward. The disability office or the form itself may suggest reasonable accommodations. Once consent is received, the Disability Office may save your summarised reasonable accommodations onto a shared workspace for your lecturers to have access to. A copy should be provided to you also. You can always unregister at any time of your studies for whatever reason, but please know all supports will also be deleted and any loaned assistive technology or resources will be required back. The support you receive is very individualised to your needs, comfortability, and college's capabilities of providing, but please note that you are entitled to help and support. If you are attending third level and under age 23, you may have access, you may have applied to the DARE Access Scheme to college. DARE is the Disability Access Route to Education and is a programme that allows a student with a disability be offered a college place on 10% less points should they be eligible. Students who have applied to DARE would have been required to upload their supporting documents, such as their education reports, in order to apply. This information is provided to the administration's office of your college, but may or may not be filtered to the support services. Therefore, it is very important that you have a copy of your assessment reports available prior to starting college. Likewise, for DARE applicants, it's important you retain copies of your documents in the events that the accompanying documents are not pulled from the CAO system. Some colleges may have an orientation event for students who have applied through the DARE route, and they will invite DARE applicants, not just those who have accepted DARE places. This is a nice opportunity to meet the students, meet the support services in advance of the entire first year orientation. During this orientation, you will meet the team, get a campus tour, and maybe your academic timetable. It's important to stress that if you are offered and you use a DARE place, you must register with support services. And if not, your college place may be revoked. This is a condition of DARE. Some students may be reluctant to register with support services because they feel I may have needed supports in primary and secondary school, but I'll be fine in college and I want to be independent. This absolutely may be the case, but it's still important to register at your earliest opportunity as a preventative measure to set you up for success. I just want to give you some examples of why it's best to register and register early. I would have worked with a student who, on their second day of exams, they wanted to register for exam support. So you can imagine not all their supports could be accommodated, that there would be cut-off times for applying for exam supports. Again, had a student, no issues until they were required to do a work placement in third year. So again, managing fine in the course, and then because we weren't aware of their difficulties, we couldn't prepare for supports on a work placement. And likewise, a student doing an art course, very practical, had no issues until in fourth year they had to write a thesis. So again, you can see those are just some examples of why registering and making yourself known early would have prevented any undue stress and would have prevented any delay in getting support. And I suppose as we're on the topic of disclosures, I just want to stress that for some, this is not an easy task, but please be assured that the disability staff you are disclosing to will always handle your disclosure with respect and confidentiality. The staff will be very experienced in dyslexia, but you truly are the expert on you. So they need you to guide the communication as much as you can and are comfortable with, and let them know what you need. And on that, sometimes students are reluctant to register if they're over 18 and previously their parents would have been involved in the support process. So again, this can be difficult. Maybe it's your first time advocating for yourself. So what I'd do is I'd recommend writing down any questions or concerns you may have in advance. So maybe in conjunction with your parent, or indeed ask for a needs assessment document in advance of the meeting so that you can prepare the answers maybe with your parents or guardian. So why does the Disability Office want you to register? Well, they don't want to be nosy and read your report. They want you to register so they know how best to support you. They want to meet you and see what your areas of strengths and areas of struggles may be. They want to put in place a support plan of how to overcome any potential struggles like the ones I mentioned. They also need to know how best to plan their available resources. The Disability Office is required to report anonymously on the number of students with disabilities attending their college in order to secure funding. Sadly, this funding isn't applied to the student directly, but to the college itself to support a group of students. If you register late in the year, the Disability Office may not have any funding allocation left for your needs, or they may not have enough support meetings available. They may not be able to provide the resources you need, such as running a maths clinic or a learning support clinic. So do help them out and register as soon as you can. The disability officers want you to make contact because they don't know that you exist, especially if you have not come through DARE, or even if you do come through DARE, your paperwork may be with the admissions office. If you disclose to a lecturer or to a peer, the disability office do not know that you exist. If you do not receive emails or texts from the disability office, they do not know you exist. So the onus is on the student to make themselves known. So please do. So now to conclude with some top tips, do register, do stay in touch, and do let the disability office know if you encounter any problems. Make a point of checking in with your disability office, potentially even once every semester, even if there are no difficulties, but just to touch base. It's handy to build rapport, and it will also be a reminder for them to make sure that you're on the radar. And they'll be able to advise you of any upcoming relevant sessions or any changes or suggestions they might have for you. Do attend suggested supports such as AT sessions or library sessions. In most colleges and FETs, there are usually academic writing centres. These are open to all students, not just students registered with the Disability Office. So do inform yourself of the supports and sign up for reminders for any talks or sessions. It can also be a nice way to meet other students from different years and different courses. Be honest and frank about any challenges or fears you may have, no matter if they seem trivial to you. The Disability Office have heard and encountered every type of worry and are happy to help. And if they can't help, they can signpost you to someone who can. Please know that there is no judgment or special treatment at all for registering with disability support. Thank you very much for listening. I hope that's of some help.